What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wild Rift University. And today we are going to be talking about tilting and getting angry and mad at the game. I figured now would be a great time to actually go over that because I am actually tilted right now. I'm thing one, as you can see, and I'm going to kind of go into my match history right now, real quick, and talk about tilting and talk about how it is. So I'm pretty frustrated right now because the game has, I feel like, been putting me in situations where I can't help my team to win. And unfortunately, sometimes in Wild Rift, this happens. So I took a break last night because I felt like the game was doing that to me. And I'm taking a break again because I feel like the game is doing that to me. So I'm going to kind of show you guys this real quick. So last night I was actually going for Immortal, and I was doing really, really well, actually. So I kind of went on a winning spree. My first game, kind of just show you guys, I had a really, a struggling team. For some reason, my team decided to go Teemo top, which was really difficult for us. Our mid laner, as you see, didn't do very well, and our support didn't do very well. And our ADC, most of our ADC's kills was actually near the end of the game. She basically at the beginning of the game only fed. So it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, as you can see. So that was my first game of the day. But first game loss of the day, not a big deal. Then I go on, we have a game. I didn't get the role I want. I basically kind of had to give up my role because somebody kind of took my role from me. So I ended up playing Riven top. And, of course, I had to play it into an Akali, one of my least favorite champs to play into. I actually first blooded her, but then I basically started kind of getting crapped on. But luckily, our mid laner did really well. So, I started to feel really good after that. Next game, as you can see, 3-1-3, we won again. And then this game right here, my Orianna game, oh, man, this was such a frustrating game because I was really trying this game, and I normally play really well on Orianna, but for some reason, even though our top laner did super good, he went an ADC top. And it's definitely not his fault that we lost, but basically what happened is my team was full of engaged champions, and I was basically just getting dove by the Graves and the freaking their first champion. I don't know why I'm brain farting. Camille over and over and over and over again. It didn't matter what I do. If I stayed in the back, if I stayed in the front, they literally just dove me every single time and killed me. And it was also a game just full of a lot of unfortunate events. Like, I can't tell you how many times people got away with 1 HP. How many times, the ability just hit me with the very tip of it. It just over and over and over again. But I completely blame myself for that loss. Next game, we win. This game right here, it was once again a really big struggle. My team just started dying right off the bat. I actually got a double kill. So how the game actually started was the Jinx died, and then I double killed their bot lane. I killed the support and the ADC. I got a double kill, so Jinx gave up first blood, and then I got a double kill right after that. And then basically right after that happened, my team did nothing but die the rest of the game, over and over and over and over and over again. And then the kills that we have are just light kills throughout the game that they got, and then me just assisting the team. But literally the game started with Jinx giving up first blood, me getting a double kill, and then from there, my team did nothing but die, and they got the kills that they got basically throughout the middle of the game. Really hard game. And then also, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember if this was, so no, it wasn't this yet. So that game was pretty frustrating. Now, today, I'm Vanquisher 1, just to kind of give you guys an idea. So this was my first game, okay? This game, I was super strong. I was 6-0, okay? On this game, 6-0, with a couple assists this game. And this was the start. This is my first game of the day. So, I have a good mindset, had a good day, and I come in. But then I kind of just go in and I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, like, how did my team lose? So, I'm Vanquisher 1. I get a Guardian 4 on my team, a Commander 1, one Guardian 4, and a Guardian 4. So I basically have 3 Commanders and 1 Guardian on my team. Because Guardian 4, Commander 1, same thing. So you could say I have four Guardian 4s, or 3 Guardian 4s, or 4 Commander 1s, whatever you want to call it. Then I looked at their team. Vanquisher 3, previous challenger. Vanquisher 3, previous challenger. Guardian 4, that's fair. That's good. Vanquisher 3, previous Grandmaster. And then Guardian 1, a Diamond 4. So clearly this guy, though, just plays... he's Guardian 1. So he's basically, once again, Guardian 1, Vanquisher 1, Guardian 4, Commander 1, same thing, okay? I'm Vanquisher 1. That's the team that Riot decided to give me. So, I'm pretty frustrated. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's a bad game. I unfortunately, you get games that are just unwinnable. I played really well. There's nothing I could have done to change the game. Is what it is, okay? I go on to the next game as well. And I get another team that does the exact same thing. So the game starts actually, once again, really great. Our ADC gets first blood. And a second after he gets his first blood, it just nonstop dying. I get a quick kill and a quick another kill. And I'm like 2-0. And then all of a sudden, I know the team's up like 10-3. Okay? And so after the game, I was like, what's going on? Okay, I got a Vanquisher 2. So my top should have been pretty good. I'm not really sure what happened here. I mean, realistically, he kind of trolled. He wanted to play as a champion. He's playing a champion he doesn't know how to play when you kind of look at it. I go here. I have a Guardian 4. So Guardian 4, Commander 1, same thing. Next thing, I have a Guardian 2. Okay, so mid-level Guardian. And then my last player, Guardian 1, so Vanquisher 1. Okay, so this team, a little bit better. Still not super fair, or still not like something that's on par with my rank, but a little bit more fair. I'm Vanquisher 1. Remember that. Next team. Vanquisher 4, previous challenger. Okay. Vanquisher 4. Okay. So they're all pretty even. Guardian 1, a very even team. Vanquisher 3. So they basically have a team of 4 Vanquishers, basically. And I have a team of basically, you could argue, 3 Vanquishers. Okay, 3 Vanquishers. So really unfair team matchups once again. Okay, and especially when you have our top lane who was clearly trolling. So why did I go through this? Because like just to kind of remind you guys, like this, it doesn't matter what rank you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. You're gonna have things like this. Kind of like just to remind you guys, like this is currently me. I'm at a 58% win rate. I have 5.8 KDA, but you get games like this. And so like all I can do in a time like this, when I have things like this happen to me, and it's clearly not my fault. I'm not playing well. Like this Orianna game was my fault. I apologized to the team. I was like, I'm sorry guys, like I just had a bad game. Check my match history. I'm playing really well, and I just unfortunately had a bad game. But there's nothing you can do. So this comes into, like I said, Riot 1 wants you to win about 50% of your games. But then there's about 20-30% of the games that there's nothing you can do about. You're just going to lose. And these last 3 games right here were just, there's nothing I could have done about them. I was just going to lose. I played well. I did everything right. But my team got in this mode of what happened. So let's talk about tilting, okay? So the interesting thing about tilting is it typically comes from a mindset of past experiences. So, for example, your team gets first blood. immediately think, okay, we're doing really well. But then the other team, gets a double kill, or the other team gets first dragon or first tower. And you have these mindsets, or you personally fall behind. And mindsets that trigger bad experiences bring in tilt, because now you start thinking, oh my gosh, I've seen this before, and I know what happens when this happens. Because every time I play a game and I fall behind, I lose. Or every time I play a game and my team gets up first blood, I lose. Or we don't get a dragon or rift tower or first tower or whatever it is. You start to have these pre-mental conclusions that give you a predisposition to what is going to happen in the game. Okay? All these games right here were very winnable. These last three right here, the last three that I just played, they all could have been won, But what most likely happened is, just like I'm kind of on a losing spree, my teammates are probably on a losing spree as well, because Riot loves to put people who are losing with people who are losing, because it makes you lose more. They love to do it. So they have a situation happens, they fall behind, and they're like, oh, this is pointless, this is stupid. I'm just going to start purposely feeding to lose, okay? And instead of then taking a break, what happens is, because now I'm taking a break, after they have a bad game that they played well, it's like, oh, well, it just happened. They have another bad game, but they feel like they did well. They're like, okay, whatever, this is really stupid, this is annoying, it's not really fair, is what it is. Then they play another game, and they play well, and then they lose again. And now your mindset has turned to straight toxic and poison. Like, I hate my team, they're evil, they're poison, this game sucks, it's out to get me. You start to play the victim mentality, okay? Because that's what tilting really is. It's a victim mentality. You're not taking responsibility for what you did wrong in the game or how you could have played better in the game. You're focusing completely on like what the enemy did. And then what happens if you keep playing, your mindset now is hyper focused on the negative. So as soon as something negative happens, you're starting to get angry. You can't focus properly. And you start to immediately think negative. You get angry, so less oxygen is getting to your brain. You can't make good decisions. You can't make good decisions. Like, look at this. If you're 1-6, how are you going to make a good decision? Or 1-4, you can't, because you're already super frustrated that like you're losing. You're 0-5. It's super hard for you to make a decision. And at this point, a lot of times what players start doing is they just throw the game. They're not even trying to win the game anymore. They're like, I just want this game to be over with. I'm just going to feed. I'm just going to int. And I'm done playing. I'm just done playing. Like this game, I'm not going to lie. Like I was done playing. Like my team was, my top laner and my support and ADC literally just started running into people. And so I was like, all right, guys, if you're just going to run into them and let them kill you, I was like, I'm just going to let the game end then. I'm just going to let the game end. And sometimes like taking back, if your team wants to lose and they're not willing to like be reasonable, taking back and letting yourself just mentally reset from that game isn't always like a terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing. It will help you recoup. And yeah, it sucks to get the loss. And what you can try and do is, talk your team, like try and carry, show them like, no, this game is still winnable. That's probably the best thing to do. But if you're on the verge of tilting and everything and you're just about to get off anyways, and your team's like, no, and they just want to throw the game, it is what it is. If you want to take that time to just mentally decompress, it's not a bad thing. But what you don't want to do is get in the habit of just like, I'm going to play the next game. I'm going to play the next game. I'm going to play the next game. Because then what happens is you get into a losing spree and you start to lose more and more. And like for me, just kind of like talking to you guys, like if you talk to any of the people who play with me on a regular basis, tilting is something that I really struggle with. I don't mind, and you could talk to any of the people who play with me on a regular basis, and I've gotten much, much better is what they would all tell you as well. I don't care if I lose to people as good as me or better than me, or lose because a team has better teamwork. I can't handle, though, a lot of times losing when people don't play correctly. And that's what frustrates me. It makes me super angry and super frustrated because I can't understand how could do that. And I used to get so tilted. I would go off on my teams all the time. I had been chat banned so much in the past. It was unbelievable. Like basically how banning used to work for me until I've started changing things and the way that I approach the game is I would be banned, unbanned for a couple days, be banned, unbanned for a couple days, be banned, unbanned for a couple of days, constantly. Not exaggerating, not joking. If you talk to any of the players who play with me on a regular basis, they would all tell you John is constantly chat banned, is exactly what they would tell you. And so how did I fix this? Okay. How did I go from getting so, because the other thing I kind of told you guys in another video is like, I would get so tilted in games at times that like, there were times like probably in like season 1 or season 2, I would derank myself like all the way back down to Emerald. I would literally derank myself all the way down to Emerald. I would get so tilted. I back in like the beginning of this game, I did that I don't know how many times, probably 3 or 4 times. I literally just went in games and was like, screw this game, I'm mad. You know, if Riot's going to give me bad teams, then I'm going to give my teams bad teams. And like this was my mindset. And like this is how toxic of a player I was, you know? And I would get so mad because it's like, I know I'm good, but like the game is stopping me from it. And that was the first issue. So like a lot of players in this game, they really struggle with humility. They look at their stats, okay, or they look at their play or whatever it is, okay, and they see something like this. Like I would look at my stats and be like, man, I have like a 6 KDA is what I would tell myself, or like, oh, my win rate or whatever it is. Like my win rate basically went to crap a lot of those seasons because part of the reason why my overall win rate's so low is because of those beginning seasons of doing that over and over and over and over again. I had this mentality that I was better than I was. Yes, I was a very good player, but my mindset, my mentality, my decision making, and my ability to handle stressful situations was not there. A lot of Wild Rift and League of Legends players don't realize this is all one and the same thing. Being a grandmaster, being a challenger, being a master, being a diamond player, it doesn't matter what rank it is you want to be. It is not just being good at the game. It's not just being good at the champion. It's not just being making the right decisions. It's learning how to handle adversities, whether they're in-game adversities, out-of-game adversities, stress, frustration. If you can't handle the mental stress of how the game works, kind of like how we talked about another thing, you know, the game designs for you to, you know, only win about 50% of your games, and then maybe 20, 30% of the games you play are unwinnable, and sometimes you run into that in a streak. You know, kind of like I am right now. Like, I have a little streak going. Like, I'm having a mix of Riot only wants me to win about 50% of my games. I have 4 games or 5 games in a row right here. And then I'm also having some really unlucky games that are just unwinnable. I was a reason this game was unwinnable for my team. This guy Lion right here, he played great. I was part of one of his unlucky games where I played so bad, I made the game unwinnable for my team. And obviously, it's not completely my fault, but I'm really big on taking ultimate responsibility for what I did wrong. And so I blame myself for this loss. And I think most players looking at this would blame me as well. Okay. You know, then next game we win, but then the next 3 games, there's nothing I could have done to win these games. My teams played so poorly, and even though I tried to support them, there was nothing I could do. And I've come to peace with that. What are some other things that I've done? So I have now disabled in-game chat. I only do party chat. I don't chat with people. In the beginning of the game, you know, I try to talk strategies, talk to my team and everything, and ask us to try and work together and try to not troll. But in game, I don't chat. I don't text anybody. I only ping. That's all I do. Because I have noticed for me personally, not chatting in game has made huge difference on my mental. And since I have stopped chatting in game and I've just been focusing on the game and not focusing on trying to tell my team what to do, or when they make a mistake, being like, why did you do that? Why didn't you do this? Because even like if you're trying to help, a lot of times people in this game are so insecure. Most people in life are so insecure, okay? And there's things that I can be insecure about as well. But like when you have people who are playing these games and like, they're playing it all the time, a lot of times people find their identity in how well they play. That's why you get so mad, because you care so much about the game. A lot of people try to say, oh, I don't really care. But if you didn't really care, it wouldn't impact you. You wouldn't get mad. It wouldn't frustrate you. The reason why you get so mad, the reason why you get so frustrated is because you're putting a lot into it and you're expecting to get something in return. And when that doesn't happen, now you're getting angry. Okay? So, and you're finding your identity, and you find your identity when you're successful. You feel better about yourself. You feel more accomplished about yourself. You feel like you're a great player. You feel like you're always going to win. You feel like no one's better than you. You get all these dopamine hits and everything. And then once that is no longer true and you start losing, you do the exact opposite, because we do very extremes. Like when we're winning, it's I'm a god, I'm unstoppable, I'm the best player in the world. And then when we're losing, it's I suck, my team suck, what the hell is going on? What am I even doing? A lot of players just blame their team because unfortunately they're still like struggling with like, they haven't realized that most of your losses, not all, I wouldn't say most, a lot of your losses are your fault. And if you can realize that, it's gonna also help you not with tilting. The other thing that, I have found that has kind of really helped me with tilting is doing this. Starting a game and hitting that button right there. Watch the replay. If you watch your replays, you can realize what you did wrong, what you could have done differently. Maybe you could have warded for one of your teammates. Maybe that's something that could have helped you win. But always putting the blame on your team, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. Because the truth of the matter is, everybody likes to think they're special. Okay, my situation is unique. Your situation is not unique. There's nothing unique about your situation in this game that everybody plays in the same algorithm. Everybody gets the same teammates in your elo. Everybody gets the same amount of trolls. Everybody gets the same amount of feeders. Everybody gets the same amount of AFKers. However, for some reason, some people climb past the rank that you're stuck at and others don't. Why is that? Why is that? No, maybe, and some people say, oh, well, they just got lucky. They always get good teams. No. It doesn't. What luck is in this game is when you go on a 10, 15 game win spree. You got lucky, you hit a good spot in the algorithm, the games are going your way, you're just so happy to get matched with all the right players and everything. That's when you're getting lucky. And that's a temporary thing, because if you don't really belong in that level, in that elo or that rank, the game over time will naturally bring you back down, okay? The natural 50% losses and 30% of games that are unwinnable, as long as you're good enough and you have the right mental state, you will turn some of those, because this was the other thing, like people get so frustrated and so mad even when they think about the fact that like, oh, the game is designed to make me lose 50% of the time, and I have to come to the conclusion that 20-30% of games are unwinnable. If you have the right mindset, you can turn some of those 50% games into now you're winning games. You can turn some of those 20 or 30% games into now winning. Because you have to realize the same anger and frustration that you struggle with, the team on the other side deals with the same thing. Most players in this game struggle with tilt. Most of them do. And so understanding that, it changes everything. And the problem is when a lot of times when players tilt, what happens is they have a fight, they barely lose that fight, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go in and get in the next one. And then they have the next fight, and this time they have less gold, and the other teammate has this gold, and they're like, oh, the only reason they beat me is because I misplayed this. So they go in, and they play it again, and they barely get beat. But this time, they felt like they played it perfectly, but they technically only really got beat because they had a little bit more gold in them. And so now they're like, oh, you only beat me because you got the little bit more gold. You're not even better than me. And then they go in again, and they lose again. And then they could just get madder and madder and madder and madder. And then they start purposely throwing the game, because you have the mindset like, I have to carry or nothing else. I have to carry or nothing else. So things that I want you to kind of think about with helping you not to tilt. One, try to identify what makes you tilt. Like I said, I have identified what makes me tilt. The things that make me tilt is when I play with players who don't understand what to do in a game or how to play in a game, or if they're getting beat, they don't understand to stay back. And everyone has a bad game. You also have to realize that everyone has a bad game. Because once again, if we go to my match history, right here, I had a bad game. I really did. I tried to stay back. I tried to play defensive. Everything I did was just not working. I just got owned. I really did. I just got owned. And those things happen. I kind of lost my train of thought. So the things that get me mad are like players not knowing what to do, not realizing like, hey, I'm getting beat. I need to play defensive. And so I took the steps to find what will help me not tilt. So I primarily only play 5-man games now. Like when I play ranked, I play with 5-mans. And I try to be on comms because I know that's something that will help me not tilt. When I play, but I still like to play legendary. As you can see, I have lots of legendary games in my history. I love playing legendary. And what I've realized I need to do in legendary is I have to mute chat. I mute chat and I focus on that. And then, I'll still get mad. And so what I have to do, like I'm doing right now, is I'm taking a break from the game and I'm kind of just talking to you guys about this. Well, it's like fresh in my mind and how I'm feeling. And like I'm actually really frustrated with what happened because I was like 1 game, or I was 2 games away from Immortal. 2 games away from Immortal. And as you know, you get the special banner and everything. And so like I really wanted that. I really want that banner. And I feel like I'm good enough to be that banner, have that banner. And so part of me is also getting mad because I feel like I deserve a rank that I don't deserve and I'm not good enough for. I have not proven that I'm good enough to be an Immortal player. And people who know me will tell me, no, Jonathan, you're definitely good enough to be an Immortal player because we're Immortal and you're just as good as us or not better or whatever. And so I get those mindsets, or I see my friends who are hitting those, who aren't maybe saying those things to me, and they're the higher ranks. And I'm like, okay, well, if they got it, then I should be able to get it because I'm better than them and my stats are better than them, or I play with them all the time and I always have to carry them. And I do this thing of comparison, and that comparison brings on tilt because what you're doing is you're putting little seeds inside your mind that are frustrating you. It's like, why can't I do this if they can do this? And it builds up and they become manifest like in your gameplay and in your life, because when it's not happening the way you want it, it gets you mad. And so like for me right now, I'm having to tell myself, I really want to hit Immortal. I was 2 games away from being Immortal, and then I'm running into this unfortunate event, Technically, I would have hit Immortal last night if it just wasn't for this game right here where, my team kind of trolled me a little bit. It's really what it was. This was a very winnable game if my team just wouldn't have trolled me. And then this game right here, if I would have won this game and I didn't troll my team and I didn't suck, I would have hit Immortal last night. And I would have been super stoked and super happy. But that's not what happened. And a lot of times people don't realize as well, rather than they get so concerned about the rank. And that's part of what's going on with me right now. I'm so concerned about the rank because I also know I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time before the season ends. So when you're really close to a deadline like that, you get hyper-focused, you get hyper-emotional. All you can think about is winning the games. And if I lose, now I have to win more games. And, I just wasted all this time. And I'm so angry. And, my teammate just didn't do that. Or then you're beating yourself up like, why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't have done that. Why did I listen to myself? And you're just beating yourself up. And you're lowering your mental. And you're literally causing yourself to tilt. And you're causing yourself to play worse. And then you're like, because I'm running out of time, I got to hurry up and get this. And I got to get up the rank. You're so focused about getting up to rank quickly that you're literally sabotaging yourself. It's literally what you're doing. And I'm literally talking to you guys about this like live right now. Like this is literally what is in my mind right now because I'm trying to hit a rank right now that I only have a couple days to do it. I'll just kind of click through some of my stuff right now so you guys can see it. But it's all victim mentality. It's self-entitlement. I tell myself I deserve this rank. And the truth of the matter is I don't deserve it. I have to earn it. And I have not proven that I can earn it yet. I have to look at it as like, I need to learn to carry better. I need to learn how to help my team better. What is it that other players are doing that are going through the exact same thing I am going through, but they're coming out successful? And like I said, right now, I do believe that my last couple games were unfortunately unwinnable games. I mean, it's kind of hard to win when you're going against a team of, 2 Vanquisher 2s, 2 Vanquisher 3s, and a Guardian 1 when you have a Commander and 2 Vanquisher 4s, and you're the Vanquisher 1, and then you have 1 Vanquisher 4 in your team. I mean, that's just a really hard game. Unless people make some really big mistakes on the other team, it's pretty hard to win that game, especially when the other team has 2 X-Challengers. And on your team, you have like several diamond level players. It's just, those are those unwinnable games, and I have to be able to accept that. I have to understand that that's going to happen, and it's okay. So guys, just talking to you about tilt, kind of expressing to you, this is how I have learned to overcome tilt. And I guarantee you there's probably very few players in this game who have been banned as much as I have, all the way from PC to this, like banned all the time. But I have made leaps and bounds by changing the way that I think about myself, the way I think about my game, and all these things. I try to look at everything as a learning experience. Doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt. Doesn't mean it doesn't still make me angry. Doesn't mean it still doesn't make me frustrated. I'm still mad. I'm still frustrated. I want to hit Vanquisher 1. Immortal. I want to hit Immortal. And then the other thing that's kind of annoying is like I have a lot of friends of mine who are lower ranks that are like, maybe Diamond 1 or Master that I would love to help them try and hit, help them get to Master or help them get to Grand. And I can't help them right now because I'm like, hey guys, I really want to get this done for myself right now. So like all my attention is going to that. And then like I also want to make videos, but like all my attention is like I need to hit this rank. So anyways, guys, that's kind of the video. I wanted to talk to you guys about how I kind of process things in the moment. And I just felt like this was actually a really good time because I'm actually frustrated right now. And I'm actually angry right now with what's happening and how I feel like the game is purposely going against me. So appreciate you guys listening to the video. I hope this helps you guys understand how tilt works and how to overcome it and like some of the things that I have done to help me overcome it. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Subscribe, like, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.